Good? Okay. Yeah, really good win. Really good win. That's a good football team there. And they're, you could see, I think, some of the improvements that they made from week 1 to week 2. I certainly felt that out there on the field. Very proud of our, first our defense, the way they played. Offensively, we weren't quite our best, weren't super sharp. UCLA was certainly had something to do with that, and had some chances to separate a little bit more there in the first half that we couldn't do it. But defensively, I thought we just were really strong the whole day. Other than the 3rd and long that we gave up, the post down the middle to the tight end, the rest of the day, I mean, our first defense was really good. They were active. We got some good pressure on the quarterback, which was key. We knew that with the young guy coming in, flying around the football, a lot of guys making plays. And I did think that we did a better job of tackling. That was a big emphasis for us from last week to this week. So proud of the way we tackled. And then once again, probably the most dominant side of the ball was the special teams. 2 huge plays, the punt return and kickoff return that gave us momentum, got our team, the crowd, everybody energized. So we continue to make some strides there, make some big plays. So proud of that group, and like I said, another just big non-conference win. We talked a lot about this game. This is one that you don't get these every year. You get your Big 12 games every year, but you don't get some of these marquee, out of conference matchups, teams from different conferences, different parts of the country. You only get a few of them, and throughout your career here, so you want to make the most of them. And I think we as a team did that today. Injury-wise, we'll see on Rodney. Don't have anything definitive, so we're going to hope for the best, and we'll get some official word on it and see where he's at. With that, we'll go questions.
Your pass rush today, 6 sacks. You talked before the year that you thought you would be, as a unit, a better pass rusher, not just one position, and it came true today, didn't it?
It was a little bit of that. We had some pressures from different people, where in the past especially the last 2 years, it's pretty much been oboe or nothing. And so I think we're getting better there. I think we're starting to be able to do more things with those guys. Those guys are understanding, what we're doing, what Mike and the group wants to do schematically, and starting to settle in with it. And we're pretty active up front right now. We've got a pretty nice rotation with some of the depth. So I think that's, that was definitely a critical factor.
Lincoln, I know the mantra is always next man up, but when you lose a player like Rodney, as talented as he is, as versatile as he is, can you describe what that does to your offense and how you have to change maybe how it operates?
Yeah, we're lucky. Rodney's a great player, and like I said, we're going to certainly hope for the best, but we've got other good players in there, and honestly, play calling wise, design, all that, it's not going to change a whole lot. We've got confidence in the guys that we have there. They all have dynamic skill sets. They can all run. They can all catch the ball. I've got no issue throwing the ball to any of them. They can all pass protect, and so that's part of the deal at that position. It's a physical position, and you understand that that's part of the game. And we've worked hard to build the depth, and now it got a chance to show today.
C.D. Lamb seemed to show that he might be pretty good at football today. What does he do for you when he plays like that?
Yeah, I was proud of CD. We didn't start CD, not really because of anything negative he did. We just thought A.D. Miller practiced better. And CD and AD both responded. I mean, they both played tremendous. That X position is really a strength for us right now. 2 games in, you feel like when you take one out that you don't lose anything by putting the other guy in. And so I thought they both made competitive catches. They both blocked well. Obviously, CD had the punt return. We thought he maybe danced a little bit on too much on the ones the previous week. And give the kid credit, man. He took that coaching point and he trusted it. And man, he hit that punt return. It was a thing of beauty. So. Yeah, I was just proud of the way he responded. Thought he played, much better and was the type of playmaker that we need him to be.
If Rodney's not available moving forward, will that change anything about your plans with TJ Pledger?
No. I mean, we planned on playing TJ the entire time. He's involved offensively. He's going to be involved on special teams. So he was a guy that, regardless of that, we were always planning on playing.
Kyler today, his game, he has good numbers. What did you think about all his execution and how he played today?
He was pretty good. He had 2 loose decisions, and other than that, he played really clean. And I actually thought there were some times where, and it was little things here or there, but we didn't always play great around him. And I thought for the most part he kept his patience. He had a lot of opportunities to throw the ball today. I mean, they were, they certainly were kind of sending everybody in there to stop the run. And so, you could tell that was their game plan, is they were going to, make us and make him throw the ball, and thought he responded pretty well. Like I said, patient, did a good job athletically when he had to run, threw the ball well. So this was a very different challenge than last week. Defensively they were different, schematically, personnel, all that, and I thought he handled it well.
You talked about mentioned that the offense was a little bit slow today, and you mentioned the offense was a little bit slow today. And how did the return game help you kind of overcome that, or get you going in the meantime? And when and how did you identify Trey Brown as your guy on kickoff?
Yeah, no, it gave us some. It gave us a much needed jolt. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's just something. Of course, we all get excited offensively when we make a play, or defensively when we make a play. But man, when you make a special teams play, that's some offensive guys, some defensive guys. It's kind of a collaborative effort, and so there's just something different when you block a punt or you have a big return. To me, it does something in football that one side of the ball, it's kind of hard for them to do by themselves. So. It was big momentum boost. Trey Brown's especially, after, they had scored, to flip the field that quickly, and then we got a quick touchdown off of it was very important. So, I like the way that, like what we're doing. You asked about Trey as a returner. Yeah, I mean, he's been on our radar for it ever since coming out of high school. We knew he was explosive. He's also very strong and can run through tackles. And we've worked him hard enough that we've gotten the point that we trust his ball skills, both catching the ball and securing it through. So he's definitely got some game-breaking ability, and also we're blocking well. I mean, those returns, it's not like we ran through 8 tackles on those returns. I mean, so give the other 10 guys there a lot of credit.
Lincoln, what were the problems in the run game when you were clogged up? It seemed like I didn't know if there were missed assignments or blitzes.
For the most part, they just had more people down there than we did. I mean, they loaded it up, and it was going to be, if you blocked it up perfect, most of the time there was going to be one free guy, and occasionally there was going to be 2 free guys. And we didn't get loose as much as we thought we would there, but it did give us some things in the passing game. We did have a couple of run things that we did not do well. Obviously, the 4th and 1 was maybe one of the more disappointing. I thought we missed a couple of cuts with the backs. I thought maybe they got a little bit impatient when we didn't just come out of the gate running it super strong. And so I think there was a few more things there that we'll go back and correct.
Can you look at it as you're gaining a group of, or building a group of playmakers on defense? I mean, with what Mark Jackson did today, Curtis Bolt and Kenneth Murray played well today. I mean, it just seemed like there's kind of a collective forming there.
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to get. We're trying to develop more, have more answers, be able to give people more problems than just one guy here, one guy there. And so, so far in two games here, they've played well. We're getting ready to get tested a lot of different ways here going forward. But I think, we're certainly off to a great start defensively.
Would you talk a little about the use of Troy Gaines in the run game?
Yeah, we used him in a couple of short yardage sets. He showed us some things. We've used him some on kickoff return. He showed us some ability to be a good blocker, some physicality, and in those situations that's what you need. So we gave him a shot. Looked like he did decent with it, but we'll go back and watch the film.
Lincoln, you had a couple other guys out on defense. Overton, Barnes were out today. Can you give us an update on those guys?
Yeah, Barnes we expect back shortly. Q Overton had to have an emergency appendectomy at about 1 o'clock this morning. And so he'll miss the next couple of weeks. It won't be anything long term, but probably will miss the next couple of weeks, and then we'll see how he recovers.
You talked about getting
Humphreys started. What did you think he looked like today?
Pretty good. He's probably a little nervous. He flinched on the first one. When they shifted the front, but he. That's like I said last week. That's kind of a hard position to evaluate. From the sideline, but. It continues to be a good battle, and that battle is going to continue between him and Alvarez. They're both really good players. We're going to just really base it on how they're playing in games, what they're doing in practice, and I think that could continue to change. It's certainly not set in stone by any stretch, but for his first start and all that, it looked like he played pretty solid. But I'll know a little bit more after I watch the tape.
You talked about just the defensive line.
You hold your breath when Kyler takes off?
No, just guys playing football. I mean, in a good way, because I think good things are about to happen, not in a worried way, no.
You talked about the defensive tackles. You wanted more consistency out of them. You specifically named Neville Gallimore. Did you feel like, and this was last week, did you feel like he came out and he
played more consistent and got off to a better start than he did?
Definitely. No, I did. I thought we did some good things as far as controlling the run game. You know, there wasn't a lot of big gaps out there, even though, you know, schematically they really put you, you know, Coach Kelly and those guys know what they're doing. I mean, they're going to put you in some tough positions, and I thought we closed down the gaps the majority of the day. I saw Neville in the backfield a lot. So, again, kind of like the center, a little bit tough to evaluate from the sideline, but I anticipate we're going to go back to film and say that we took a step there.
Lincoln, there's not a college football coach in the country that comes out and says we're going to de-emphasize special teams. Everybody talks it up, but something's really happening on this team. Can you describe the difference between what you guys are doing as an emphasis and what most of the country does, even as they talk it up, but they're not really doing?
I don't know how I answer that. I don't know what everybody's doing. Yeah, it's just been a true conscious effort with us. I mean, when we went back and looked at the last couple of years, I think we all felt like that we needed to take a bigger step, special teams, that has got to become a weapon for us. And it's been just such a collaborative effort. Again, I've said many times, I had way too much on Jay Boulware last year, which was my fault. I don't think I did a very good job as the head coach, kind of serving my role in special teams, both kind of getting coaches ready, getting players ready, the emphasis, the practice structure. I mean, I stunk at that last year. And so, you know, that's something I knew I needed to do better. We needed to emphasize more. And then I think, you know, some of the quality recruiting classes stacking up, you see some of that depth, and you see a lot of those guys starting to get their chance to play on special teams. And when your 2s and 3s are better, it shows up in two situations. It shows up when you have injuries, and it shows up on special teams. Right now our 2s and 3s are better, and we're playing better there.
C.D. Lamb busted out today, kind of held back a little bit last week. How good a player is this guy?
He's very talented, you know, and I think you saw some of the physicality, you know, that we've been talking about, that we think, you know, he's grown in some areas. But I'll tell you, the best thing that's happened for CD is A.D. Miller, and the best thing that's happened for A.D. Miller is C.D. Lamb. I mean, they really complement each other. They're fighting for reps because they're both playing really well, as you saw today. And it's keeping the edge and the intensity in that battle up, kind of like the center position right now, kind of like, you know, will linebacker, kind of like a lot of positions on this team is, you know, these competitions are ongoing, and we're going to continue to put the people out there that we think help us the most.
Kenneth Murray didn't make a tackle last week, or, you know, statistically. He had 9 today. He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was better. Went back and watched it last week. Thought he was just okay. Wasn't as good as we wanted him to be. He was definitely better today. I think clear-minded. Flew around, commanded us, tackled well. He today was like the player that we envisioned him being.
What do you think changed?
I don't know. That's a good question. You know, sometimes schematically they just put you in a position where maybe one guy's not going to make a ton of tackles, and sometimes when you get a few tackles early and kind of get going a little bit, it settles you in. But I think he had a better week of practice. I think he's just continued to get more comfortable with not only what we're doing schematically, but just the other guys around him, because that Mike's got to control it. He's got to play off of the other guys. And so I think we were a little more in sync, especially from his position.
Was Austin Kendall close to being able to play today?
Yeah, very close. Very close.
How would you evaluate the control, the poise, the command that Tyler has played with in these first few
Been pretty good. The only one I wasn't happy with today was the ball to Brown, you know, as far as just kind of keeping his patience. But yeah, he's kept his emotions in check. I thought there was a period there, kind of late there, or I'm trying to remember when it was. I talked to him where I think it's late in the second half, where I thought he was really doing some good stuff, and we weren't quite making the plays around him we needed to, or I had a couple of bad calls in there, and I really liked that he kept his patience. Sometimes you got to know that, hey, I'm doing good. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and eventually we're going to break through. And so, yeah, his patience has been good. He's done a really nice job controlling our group, being the leader we need him to be, but also being the player we need him to be.
Lincoln, after last week, I talked to Marquise earlier this week. He talked about buying the Bolitnikoff jersey with CD over the summer. When your players show up and stuff like that, what goes through your mind? Do you like that, guys?
No, I love it. I mean, if you don't think you're any good, you got no chance. So there's a line. There's, of being, respecting the game, respecting your, how hard it is. But you got to believe in yourself, man. This game's too hard as it is, and if you don't believe in yourself, you have no chance. So I want our players to be confident. If they're putting in the work off to the side and getting done what they need to get done within these walls, then you know, things like that are fun. Our guys enjoy it, and I've got zero issue with it.
I happen to think this week that kind of energy carried over from the young guys on defense, that it's kind of carrying throughout the locker room and stuff. Do you feel that impact from those young guys?
Yeah, I do. I just think it's, I don't know if I would just necessarily classify it the young guys, the old guys. You just, the group as a whole, you just feel it. You know, I think the team feels it. Defensively, we feel it. Yeah, I wouldn't go so far to say we're closer right now, but you just, it is a little bit different vibe than it's been. Yes.
The catch that CD made that was out of bounds.
Yeah.
I assume you've seen that out of him before, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, he's capable of making some spectacular ones. That was a shame his foot wasn't down. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. We've seen him, you know, practice this or that. We see him do some pretty good stuff. Am I surprised he caught it? No. Now, was it awesome? Damn right it was.
You okay with starting conference play next week?
Yeah.
Conference ends.
No, I think we're ready. You know, we're ready. This is one we've been, you know, really excited to play. You know, you guys know how we feel about playing on the road. We love it. And so home's been great here the first 2 weeks, man. 2 sellout crowds, another great atmosphere again today. You know, it's been a great start to the home season, and we're looking forward now to getting out on the road, you know, beginning our conference battle here against a good opponent. So that'll be big.
It's not too early to talk about motivation from last year's loss to them, is it?
Kind of like the Ohio State deal. I mean, that's, you know, a couple years ago. If that's the only thing that motivates us, you know, then, you know, we got problems. You know, we're hungry to try to go win another Big 12 title, you know, and that starts here this week.
Do you ever last question, just watching Kyler, you've coached a lot of really good quarterbacks, obviously, but watching Kyler play screwed up, ball would snap, whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he just runs out and
no doubt.
Just sit back and you're like, man, that's just special.
No question. Like the one, you know, the one today that we kind of bobbled, or I can't remember what happened, but we busted the play in the backfield, and he comes out of it and gets the first down. I mean, that's, you know, again, that's why you recruit so hard. But there's no doubt he's a special athlete. I mean, I think everybody out there can see that. And the key right now is he's using it at the right times. You know, he's not looking to run. He's playing within the offense, making the plays when he needs to, and he's got to keep that up.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks, man.